Why are home sales falling? Obviously fear. Some of the fear is real. I don't know if I'm going to have a job next month. I don't know if I can pay the bills on my house. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take a vacation this year because oil prices and gas prices are so high. Some of it is media driven. When things are great, the media tends, and I'm not picking on those of you here from the media, but hi Gene. When the things are great, what sells papers is to talk about how wonderful it is. When things are bad, it sells papers or it sells advertising on television to say how bad things are. And we tend to hit both opposite spectrums without necessarily hitting the middle. But some of the fear is real, some is media driven. Gas prices, obviously, tightening credit, overbuilding, which has been a real problem lately, and the removal of subprime component from the marketplace, which we're just beginning to understand the impact of that. I'm going to explain what subprime actually did to the Lehigh Valley marketplace and the national marketplace, and I'm hopefully going to do it in some simple terms, but it's a little hard to explain math from a podium. Subprime and easy credit, of course, allowed more first-time homebuyers into the marketplace, and these first-time homebuyers pushed the market, generating 3 to 4 transactions per buyer. Let me explain it another way. In 1990, about 64% of Americans own their own home. The rest of them rented. By 2000, that number had gone up to 66.2%. In a very short period of time, it jumped from 66% up to 69.2% in the fourth quarter of 2004. And since then, it's fallen back down to 67.8%. That's the last quarter that I have numbers for. And you can see how it tracked up and back down. Although it's only a 3% bump, it's a really important number to understand one of the components that drove the market up. That increase in home ownership. To kind of explain it, in the year 2000, 66.2% of Americans owned their own home. By the fourth quarter of 2004, like I said, it had increased 3%. And that 3% bounce really had a strong impact. It produced a lot more sales than just 3%. Now, we think you should duct tape your head at this point in case it explodes, because we are going to be talking a little bit about math. Understanding the numbers. In any given year, an average of 14.2% of the population moves. Of that 14% of the population, 2/3 of them buy homes. What that means is less than 10% of Americans buy homes any year, or in this case, 9.37%. Of that small number, 39% are first-time buyers. That means in any given year, and in this case we're using the year 2000, 3.65% of the American population bought homes. That number's kind of important when we talk about subprime. It's a real small percentage of the population that we're dealing with in the Lehigh Valley that we're selling homes to at any given point in time. In that particular year, those first-time home buyers represented less than 4% of the market. Here's fuzzy math. This is being videotaped, so I had to take a few liberties in order to make this make sense. Home ownership jumped between 2003 and 2005 by 3% of the population. This 3% were almost entirely first-time buyers. What that means is, in the year of 2004, we had an increase in first-time buyers by about 50%. Even though it's only 3% of the population, it significantly impacted the number of first-time buyers that we had in the marketplace. What that does is, it creates a huge demand suddenly for first-time homes. And of course, many of these buyers were able to own homes for the first time because of the easing of credit, because of subprime mortgages. This is the jump of number of first-time home buyers in the marketplace from 2000 to 2004. Here's where it becomes interesting. Because there was such a high demand for first-time homes, the prices rose, and a lot of people sold those first-time homes and moved up to move-up homes. There became a huge demand for move-up homes. There weren't enough of them on the market. So it created two dynamics. Well, and a lot of those move-up buyers moved to permanent homes, the home you live in with your 3 kids, hopefully for the rest of your life until you get a condo down in Florida. It created two dynamics in the marketplace. First, home builders started building more homes because there was a huge need for them. And secondly, homeowners who were not planning on selling, people who were in their permanent home, were going to stay there until they died, saw the low interest rates and saw what Sally down the street just got for her house and decided, you know, that luxury home that I really couldn't afford, maybe I can stretch and get it, because I can now get $375 for my house, and I can buy this one for only $180 a month more. So it created a marketplace where there wasn't one. And I think that's one of the big things that ran up the market over that period of time. Now, again, this is hindsight. We can look back now and say, wow, that's what happened. It's just a push. As more first-time home buyers came into the market, it drove up prices. They moved into move-up houses, which moved into permanent homes, which of course moved into luxury homes. Each subprime borrower, therefore, was not just one sale. They actually contributed to 3, 4, or 5 sales in the marketplace. And taking that subprime component back out, of course, the reverse is true. As we tighten credit and as we remove subprime loans from the equation, you eliminate about 3% of the population who was buying. But more importantly, we take back out of the mix 3, 4, or 5 sales. It's not just the one for the borrower that can no longer buy the house.